guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a very entertaining article titled, Men Seem to Make Life for Women Worse. Single U.S. women share their woes at dating in 2025. And a shout out to David for sending this article. And guys, like the title says, this whole article is about an interview with about a dozen different women from all over the country, ranging from ages in the 20s to the 40s, I believe, with one thing in common. They're all single, and they all blame men because they're single. It's not their fault, it's our fault. And I thought it'd be an entertaining one to go over here, guys, making the point of what we have now today. One, again, the whole no accountability thing. But two, this is going to reinforce when you hear this, all their little short stories and pissing and moaning why they're single, why so many of you guys have chosen not only not to get married, but not to be in relationships or date at all because of the quality. Well, quality is a poor word to use, but the reality of what is out there in the whole dating scene. And unlike us, we will openly admit if we have some flaws and work on ourselves, every single one of these gals blames guys because they don't meet their standards, or there's obviously something wrong with the guys. And let me tell you, when you guys hear all the things they complain about, one is going to make you shake your head and roll your eyes, but you're also going to laugh. You're not going to be surprised. And by the way, a little challenge for you guys, if you watch this whole video, after a while, you're going to notice a certain pattern emerging about the women here. I don't want to say what it is, and I'll point out later on when it starts becoming obvious, but I'll be very curious to see if you guys in the comment section can notice what it happens to be the common thing here, and it won't surprise you at all. And, of course, the number one thing they complain about guys overwhelmingly in today's dating scene. So sit back. This is definitely a very entertaining one for a Sunday. So it starts off, says here, here's why some women feel like there's little hope in the current dating pool of men, if they're still in the market for one. By 2030, 45% of prime working age women in the U.S., defined as women aged between 25 and 44, will be single according to the Census Bureau historical data and Morgan Stanley's forecast, the largest share in history. Oh, how interesting. 2030, huh? Hundreds of those women from across the U.S. shared with The Guardian why they were single, how they felt about it, and what they would be looking for in a future partner if they were still in the market for one. Now we're going to go down and cover all these different women who are chiming in here. And again, you'll start to notice a pattern. The first one says here, I hated being single after my last relationship broke down, said Sarah, a 43-year-old representative from California. I miss having someone to cook for, to share things with, but now my motto is, my alone feels so good, I'll only have you if your presence is sweeter than my solitude. Your presence is sweeter? Many of the responses are surprisingly similar. The most frequently listed qualities women said they were looking for in a partner were, listen to this, kindness, emotional intelligence, mental and physical health, shared values, ambition, and being hardworking, financially stable, masculinity, maturity, and a willingness to commit to an equal, monogamous relationship, as well as in many cases, having a family. Anything else? One of the phrases respondents used the most was that they were looking for a partner capable of adding or enhancing to their life, as in someone who was entirely self-sufficient and capable of adding romance, children, or a unique intellectual connection to their lives. A large number of women complained about past suitors who've been lacking effort and unable to keep up. So that's a lot of things they want. But here's the big question here, which many of you have to ask, and I ask, the ones that are complaining here, what do you bring to the table? Seriously. On all fronts. And usually they would say, well, I have a master's degree in this, or I have a doctorate in this, and this is my job title, and I make this amount of money, and I'm so fabulous. And guys are like, so, are you fun to be around? Do you have a good personality? Are you feminine? Do you take care of yourself? These are things we like. We don't care about your 5 master's degree in women's studies. We don't care about what your job title is. We don't care about your income. I mean, that's cool. But still, that's the shit that that's the shit that women look for in guys in terms of the success and title thing, not us. Now listen to this. The first one, Babette. Really, a chick named Babette? She's 32, a beautician from New York City, echoed hundreds of other respondents across ages and socioeconomic backgrounds. She says here, I would love to have a partner, but it seems like the men are super low effort. Not responding on dating apps, not effectively communicating, not wanting to plan dates. A lot of men seem to actively make life for women worse instead of better. No matter what women say they look for in a relationship, it is completely ignored by the men. Well, here's a question for Babette. Maybe there's a reason guys aren't responding to her messages. Maybe there's a reason they aren't planning dates because there's something about her that is turning them off. Maybe they don't like her personality. Maybe they don't like the size of her ass. I don't know. But just to put it all on guys, believe me, if there was something about her that guys liked, they would most certainly be making the effort to get her out on a date or get her out somewhere. So obviously it isn't just them. There's got to be something about her. But do you think Babette is looking in the mirror and being honest with herself? No, it's easier to blame guys. Next one. Kelly, 43, from Georgia, joined the substantial number of respondents who felt that social media narratives have made dating toxic and pitted men against women. She says, I wish I could have met my person before the stupid gender wars, social media, and red pill rhetoric that has ruined people's view of dating and marriage, she said. Scores of women that said nobody available that they had encountered met what they considered basic requirements. When she's talking about social media stuff and gender wars and R-pill stuff, you mean R-pill stuff that has made men aware of the reality, what is out there? What I do here, and so many others like me on other channels have done, and you guys are aware of, we talk reality. It ain't always pretty. It's usually a tough pill to swallow, but it is, in fact, reality. So how is that type of rhetoric, and us are the bad guys, that guys are aware of things, not tolerating BS, but according to Kelly from Georgia, we're all the bad guys. Says here, scores of women said that nobody available they had encountered met what they consider to be basic requirements. So here is now a list of the so-called basic requirements. Start counting. Get your calculators out. I'm looking for a man who has goals and ambition, is intelligent, trustworthy, a provider, supportive, considerate, kind, assertive, masculine, honest, faithful, intentional, has a healthy self-esteem and a sense of humor, loves to go out, and likes fitness. These basic qualities are hard to find these days, she said. Basic qualities, basic requirements, that's 17. 3 to 5 would be like a basic list. That's 17. I hate to see what the long list is. You see the problem here? That's why I don't exaggerate when I say like their list of requirements is like when you go to CVS and they print out the coupons, it's like fucking 5 feet long coupons at CVS. That's the list of your modern gal's requirements. That's the basic requirements to her, 17 goddamn things. I'm not saying some of these things aren't good things, but come on here. And again, what does she bring to the table? Although many women said they found being single lonely, they also typically said they would not consider anyone who did not tick these or similar boxes. Oh, so if the guy doesn't meet 17 of her basic requirements, then that's not going to happen. This is why they're single. Don't blame us. You're too picky. Next one. We're just getting started, guys. Katie, 37, a biotechnology product manager from Wisconsin, said she had felt unable to look for a new partner since her last breakup in 2021. That's 4 years. A partner should ideally have a robust social life, a focus on holistic health, compassionate, forthright communication skills, and functional independence, she said. She says, I'm happy to compromise on things. The bar is extremely low, and yet it's rarely clear. Really, the top thing she said here is a robust social life. That is an absolute key in terms of finding a good guy. God's sakes. I know they say partner. What does that say about their politics? Hundreds reported struggling to find a partner with shared values, political views, and interests, and a similar education level, with many pointing to a deepening mismatch between men and women in those areas. Well, a massive area women complain about are guys in education. And the thing is, more and more men are realizing, hey, going to college, spending all that money to get a degree that probably won't get me too far, it's not worth it. Therefore, many men are choosing various trades. And the thing is, I've read more and more articles about how A lot of guys, tradesmen, if you will, whether they're electricians, plumbers, HVAC, whatever, a lot of them are going to be retiring in the next 10 to 15 years. There's going to be a big vacancy. So there's a lot of demand for those things. And so young guys will do well with pursuing that, or at least thinking about it, because they'll spend far less money in getting skills and those things, getting certified, if you will, and get a good return. But they won't have the college education. So a lot of these women will think these guys aren't worth it, that these guys are basically losers and lowlives. It's the biggest bunch of crap ever. I'm all for education, but some of the smartest people I know, guys, do not have college degrees, but they're self-educated. They can pick up a fucking book or read an article, a blog, and educate themselves. These guys can make a lot of good money and all that, not have a lot of debt or any debt, but still these women would pick the guy that has some advanced degree and is up to his eyeballs in debt, and his job isn't that much different in terms of pay than the blue-collar guy who's an electrician or plumber or HVAC guy. It's ridiculous. But there's going to be more about this whole education crap. Says here, Danielle, 29 years old, a public relations professional from Tennessee, said that her future partner would need to be kind, thoughtful, emotionally available, considerate, reliable, and responsible, but also college educated. Right there. Back to the college educated thing. I mean, I got no problem with wanting somebody that's reliable and good communication skills, but back to the college educated thing. I bet you Danielle here met a guy that had all the other qualities, maybe even 17 qualities, basic requirements, but if he wasn't college educated in a way that she felt was on her level, nope, not interested. She says, I'm very disheartened by shortage of quality men, she added. Men my age are less educated, their social skills are abysmal, and now they're running into the arms of Trump and incel forums. Here we go. In other words, talking about channels like mine. Oh, we're all a bunch of incels here. It's ridiculous. And of course, they got to throw it to Donald Trump. She talks about the first thing, less educated. Again, define educated. Laura, in her 40s from San Francisco, said that she's been single for the better part of a decade since her divorce, despite having used many dating apps and having attended dozens of single events. She says there's been an imbalance between education levels, back to the education, in the U.S. Many men don't want to date someone who's more educated or makes more money than them. There's also the Peter Pan syndrome. A lot of men here don't want to seem to grow up and take on responsibilities of adulthood or get committed partnerships, she said. Well, there are definitely a lot of young guys out there that unfortunately do need to grow up. I'll say that. But she's in her 40s. And guys in their 40s have definitely, at that point, many have grown up. When she talks about the Peter Pan syndrome, come on here, look in the mirror. Let's talk about the Patricia Pan syndrome, when you have all these women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who try to behave and act like they're still, in their 20s. You know what I'm talking about here. And not just single ones, married ones, behaving like single women. And also, I might add that she is in her 40s and has been single for half a decade. Again, maybe she's too picky. Is that possible? Is it possible that she's a little delusional about what she brings to the table? That she may need to lower her so-called standards a bit because she doesn't have a whole lot to offer. I'm not saying you can't have cool girls in their 40s that look darn good for their age, but let's not be ridiculous and act like you still have the appeal that you did maybe when you're in your 20s and your prime looked damn good. You were an 8, 9, or 10. Almost all together, women who were looking for a partner did not cite levels of professional or financial success as a priority. Financial self-sufficiency was crucial for many. Various women stressed that they were searching for a socioeconomic equal. Well, I got no problem with a woman wanting a guy that has his shit together. That's okay. And who has a job and who obviously can manage his money and pay his own bills. Sure, you want an adult. But they obviously want something way more than that. And the one complaining I might add about, the guys have a problem with her having more education or making more money. A lot of guys have learned that if she makes more money, she's always going to kind of look down on the guy. That's what I found in a lot of the stories I've covered. And obviously, a lot of times it's a problem because she brings more to the table, and they always feel they want a guy that does better than them. It's the truth. Next one, Kelly Wallace, 48 years old, a consultant from Portland. Oh God, Portland, Oregon. What a great place. She said, I'm a self-employed high earner. I'm working on a memoir, own rental property, and have struggled with finding someone who is like me. Creative and high earning. I don't drink or smoke, and I don't want a partner who does either. While women most elaborated on their experience of being single in a social sense, some explain why they were legally single despite wanting to be married to their current partner. Well, this one woman here, Kelly from Oregon, that's great. She's had success and she's self-employed and high earner. That's awesome. But most people aren't entrepreneurs. Most people aren't businessmen. So if she's strictly looking for a guy that's going to be just like her, an entrepreneur, owns his own business, same level income, they're out there, but it's not as common. Next one, Susan, 40 years old, a social worker from Ohio, said that her long-term boyfriend's economic situation had become a permanent obstacle for marriage. She says, or she complains, he wants to be working full-time with a decent wage before getting married and having a family. He hasn't, so we haven't moved to that next step. I'm still hoping marriage will happen, but I've mostly given up on anything challenging. She says, the idea of breaking up and trying to find someone else seems pretty hopeless at this age, so I basically resigned myself to never having kids. Well, so she's okay, fine, she wants to be married. Okay. But here's the thing, the guy's trying to be responsible here. He's trying to get a better paying job, and obviously some money, it sounds like, before he takes the next step to getting married. It's being fiscally responsible. And I might add, she's 40. She's a social worker, and there's nothing wrong with being a social worker. We need a lot of good social workers because there's a lot of people with problems in this world. But social workers, newsflash, don't make a lot of money. So, here's the thing. He has to, obviously, he's being fiscally responsible. But he's the bad guy here. Next one, it says here, some respondents reported feeling so disheartened by the world of dating that they had given up actively looking for a partner despite still wanting one. Among them is Raina, a 41-year-old doctor from Washington State. She says, my experience on dating apps over the last few years has been dismal, she said. Like many others, Raina cited men who had not actively worked on their mental health as a main hurdle in her search for a partner. Men working on their mental health? Is she trying to say that all the guys she's been out with, Raina the doctor, 41 years old, that they all have mental health problems? It's kind of like when you get together with a gal for a first date and you talk about her past boyfriends and she all says they all conveniently were abusive. Really, now she's saying mental health. Is it possible maybe they didn't have mental health problems? Is it possible maybe you were just bad at picking guys? Or you say it didn't work out, so therefore they all have mental health problems and they refuse to work on them. Or maybe they did have mental health problems and she's terrible at picking men. Are any of these women looking in the mirror and saying, maybe there's something about me. Maybe there's something about my personality. Maybe something about my attitude or the size of my butt that's turning off guys. I don't know. No, it's all men's fault. She says, I find most men my age have a lot of baggage and they're not actively working on processing their trauma. It feels like taking on a partner would be like taking on another job. Someone to care for physically and emotionally when men can't seem to offer the same to me in return. Really? Every guy she's gone out with is like that? Something tells me if she picked up and moved to an entirely different part of the country, it'd probably be the same situation. And the common denominator is not the guys, it's her. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't guys out there that are jackasses or losers, but to make it out like all the guys and all these girls we've covered here and all the guys have gone out with are all the same, come on. She felt devastated about being single most of the time, and she added, as she felt like dozens of other women, that she was being punished for her professional and emotional progress. She says, I felt like my career and ambition had diminished my dating pool, she said. Next one, Christina, 32 years old, a mental health therapist from Chicago, said she had withdrawn from active dating after she had been dumped by someone who did not want to commit. Although Christina reported feeling overall very happy being single, she did have concerns about her ability to have kids. She says women are freer than ever to make their own lives outside of the confines of a romantic relationship. But the biological clock thing weighs heavily on her mind. Okay, well, Christina's going to have to get back on that horse and keep trying and be realistic with what she has to offer, what she's looking for, and all that. It's not over yet. Next one, Crystal Sharp, 39 years old, a self-employed art teacher and wedding photographer from Oregon. Oregon, back to Oregon, huh? Is she near Portland? She was among many women who said drinking, drug use, and other addictions among men, especially to porn, addiction to porn, were a major factor in why they could not find a worthy partner. She says, I tried internet dating after my divorce, and I only met men who were emotionally immature and wanted someone to take care of them or had major addictions to drugs, alcohol, and gambling. Where the hell is she meeting all these guys? I mean, I know she's in Oregon, and we know, well, many know about their rules about drugs in Oregon. It was such a genius idea. Maybe she's close to Portland, knows the former Portland girl here. But again, who is she choosing to go out with here? Her screening process is not that good. Or maybe, I don't know, there's other factors here. She also included video gaming and porn. She says that most guys were just looking for a woman to sleep with, not grow with. While many respondents said they would like to have a partner, others prioritized their careers, families, and personal interests. In many such cases, the financial independence these women enjoyed appeared to be substantially contribute to this mindset. Another one says, I'm 35 years old, a homeowner, have a decent income, and one older child, said Lauren from Connecticut. Aha! Got a single mom here, 35, homeowner, decent income from Connecticut. She says, although she would love to meet someone hardworking, honest, and loyal, she was very uncomfortable being alone. Okay, well, that one didn't blame anybody, so that's good. Another one, Randy, 33 years old, a government policy analyst from Chicago, and she has stopped dating entirely. Have you guys noticed the locations for the majority here? Chicago, Connecticut, where else? Oregon, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco. Noticing the location of all these women who are single here? The cities, the states. What common thing do they have in common? A lot of people, a lot of gals that are from those parts of the country that are, I'm going to say it, blue, liberal. They especially have very high demands. They're the ones usually are very college educated, have all these high demands, and, well, you know, I stay away from politics on this channel because I want to focus on what unites us, and since politics is everything nowadays, you know, a break from all that. But I got to point that out here, and I'm sure some of you guys have noticed at this point. What is Randy bitching about? She says, I'm not looking for a partner because it's not that important to me. I'll let go of the notion of a long-term relationship as an accomplishment I must fulfill to be successful. She says, I can afford my living expenses while saving for retirement. I've considered becoming a single mom via fostering or adoption. I'd rather commit to raising a child alone than go through the efforts of dating and finding a suitable partner. So in other words, one of this, I can do everything type. You know, I don't need no man to do it all. Well, guess what? It's been kind of proven that a lot of these gals do need someone to help them, and that's okay. While some women reported feeling happy that they could afford being single thanks to their decent incomes, others said that the financial cost of being single was the main drawback of not settling down with a partner. This one says, I find dating to be more trouble than it's worth. The one thing is that being single is very expensive, said Nicole, 42-year-old high school teacher from Portland, Oregon. What is it with Oregon in this article here? The U.S. seems designed for couples and families. Rent keeps going up, other costs are as well. It would just be nice to share the burdens with another person. Partners, person, get to the fucking point. All these women are looking for a guy. This whole article about blaming men, then fucking say men instead of partner and person. Various respondents made clear they had no intentions to couple up. She says, I'm single by choice because dating nowadays is a waste of time, says Valerie Gregorio, a 27-year-old from Maryland, another blue state. I'm not looking for anyone. I value my freedom and independence too much. Oh, here we go. Strong independent. I still live with my family because everything is too darn expensive, and I want to save as much money as possible, especially since I'm not making six figures currently. I'm ready to accept being single for the rest of my life. She's 27 years old, and she's already accepted being single for the rest of her life. Then, God forbid, sacrificing the probably 17 basic requirements that we heard earlier, if not more. Anyhow, guys, there you go. So when I saw this today, I thought it was quite funny. But this shows exactly why so many guys are like, the hell with this. This is the world we're in right now. How many of these women have honestly looked in the mirror and said, maybe there's something I can change about myself, a negative quality that needs some tweaking, some reflection, something like that? Nope. It's all guys' fault because they're not educated enough, they're not serious enough, blah, blah, blah. And they're not meeting the basic 17 fucking requirements that such and such, probably from Oregon, listed earlier in the story. This is ridiculous. Yeah, there's no perfect guy out there. I hate to break it to you, ladies, okay? But there are plenty of good men. It's just that your standards are absurd. When 17 things are on the basic requirement list, and we know most have way more than that. statistically, good luck there. I mean, we all joke about the whole six-figure income, 6 feet tall, six-pack. Let's add in 6 inches and more down there. Statistically, good luck finding that in one dude, let alone just one of those qualities. Add in all the other crap there. And then it goes, and even if you find that guy, good luck there. What do you bring to the table? Seriously. But I've known many over the years that are like this. And to no surprise, they are still single. So the whole blaming on guys is ridiculous. And just the same way, if there's an article with all these guys, blame that on all the gals out there. What are they doing to change things? But we don't hear that. We hear the gals blaming guys. So anyhow, guys, that'll be an entertaining one for a Sunday. And once again, proving why many of you are like, the hell with this. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you find a good article, you got a story to share, send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.